Major spoilers for Reacher Season 3 below. It may have taken 3 seasons, but Reacher has finally beaten Tom Cruise's Jack Reacher film in 2 key areas. The controversy over Tom Cruise's casting as Jack Reacher in the screen adaptation of One Shot has lingered within the franchise. Cruise's casting came about after producers spent years looking for an actor who could portray the hulking figure found in Lee Child's Jack Reacher books. When this proved near impossible, they went for star power instead. Despite the outcry against Cruise playing the role, the first film was a comfortable hit and spawned a sequel 6 years later. Amazon's Reacher would correct the Cruise casting years later when Alan Ritchson took over the role. The series has been a huge success for the streaming service, with the 3rd season receiving a new perfect Rotten Tomatoes score. While Cruise's second outing kind of sucked, the Christopher McQuarrie-directed Jack Reacher has aged very well. It's an elegantly made thriller with some great set pieces and a memorable villain in Werner Herzog's The Zek. 13 years later, Reacher finally has the film beat in those areas. A common complaint leveled against Amazon's Reacher during the first 2 series is that the villains were, well, a bit dull. They were neither a physical nor an intellectual match for Ritchson's Reacher and were easily defeated in the end. The first series had some solid set pieces, but nothing on the level of the car cruise or the finale of Cruise's Jack Reacher. When standards regarding action slipped during the 2nd season, Ritchson himself called the production out and vowed that Reacher Season 3 would do better. I'm happy to report that, in terms of action and villains, Reacher Season 3 is now the gold standard of the franchise. Terrifying as Werner Herzog's The Zek is, his screen time is relatively brief, and he wasn't much of a physical threat to Cruise's Reacher. Season 3 had both Olivier Richter's imposing bodyguard Paulie and Quinn Bryan T., an old enemy from Reacher's past with a love of torture and mind games. Whereas previous antagonists faded into the background, the main threats of Reacher's latest season were always present and actually felt like threats. The action felt crunchier and better executed too, from the fake kidnapping that opened the series all the way to the shootouts and fights featured in the finale. Unfinished business. Cruise and McQuarrie are best known for the wild action set pieces of their mission. Impossible collaborations, but Jack Reacher was intended as a more low-key franchise for Cruise. Hence, the set pieces are less intricate, but when the fights of shootouts happened, McQuarrie brought a visceral edge to them. If there was a poll, then the exhilarating car chase McQuarrie staged for the film would rank the highest among the entire series, but Reacher Season 3's Paulie vs. Reacher fight might have it beat. This brutal showdown was the highlight of the original novel Persuaded 2, and sees Ritchson's and Richter's characters tearing apart scenery, trying to take each other down. It's completely overblown, macho nonsense, and also one of the action highlights of 2025 so far. It's an exhilarating brawl, and viewers will likely feel bruised just from watching it. The fight might even hurt Reacher in the long run, as future seasons will need signature set pieces of their own to live up to it. Werner Herzog is best known as a filmmaker and documentarian, with his most famous works including Aguirre, The Wrath of God, Fitzcarraldo, and Grizzly Man, but he occasionally dips his toes in acting too. His turn as the Zek in Jack Reacher is one of his most famous roles, a former Soviet prisoner turned ruthless criminal. Herzog is mesmerizing in Jack Reacher, but in terms of actual screen time, he only appears for about 10 minutes. In contrast, Paulie is featured throughout Reacher Season 3, while Quinn makes a strong impression when he finally arrives. Quinn and Paulie are the ideal combination of foes for Reacher, a mix of intelligence, ruthlessness, and brute strength. There's no world where the fingerless Zek could beat the snot out of Cruise's Jack Reacher, let alone the Alan Ritchson version. Ignoring the noise around Cruise's casting, the Jack Reacher movie is an underrated gem and laid the foundation for future MCQ and Cruise collaborations. After 3 attempts, It's nice to see Amazon's adaptation living up to Macquarie's standards.